met Catherine, I think, at a study committee on hemp 3 or 4 years ago. She knows a lot about this hot topic, and she is counsel for the Department of Ag. Many of you know her, and I just want to ask Catherine, if you can, this morning, to kind of update the committee on what the department is doing as far as this committee, I think, passed legislation through last year to give the commission authority to regulate a lot of these products and businesses that sell them, and just maybe give us an update on where the department is on that and the posture that we're in right now.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, committee members. Catherine Russell, Director of Policy at the Department of Agriculture. Last year, the legislature passed SB 494, which allowed us to have, I'm sorry, do you'll hear an echo? Okay, is that better? Okay, so last year, the legislature passed SB 494, which gave us regulatory authority to oversee the hemp industry in the retail, wholesale, and manufacturing markets. And so we've been working on that. As the commissioner mentioned to you when he came and visited earlier this session, we actually went through 2 rounds of rulemaking to go ahead and build out the program. We've hired post-certified officers and civilian inspectors and have started rolling all of those inspections out. Our most recent set of rules actually went into effect the first week of January. So we were not fully running things until about a month ago, right? So what we're expecting to see, well, I'm sorry, let me back that up a little bit. So with our consumer safety bill last year, we already knew where we were with D9 and what was expected, Delta 9. We did not push with that bill any changed or new policy concerning other cannabinoids or isomers, because at that point we felt like it was a policy decision that really needed to be weighed by the legislature. I know that the terminology is to call it a loophole. I actually don't think it's a loophole. I think that it's a policy that has not yet been considered by the legislature. It's a very important policy, and we would like direction on it. However, one of the big concerns that we have right now, before our big concern, there are products on the shelves that are marketed as D8 and Delta 10 products. And as we go and test, we're expecting a lot of those actually to be Delta 9 products. It's much more abundant, it's cheaper, it's more effective, and so we're finding that when we do test, we're finding lots of Delta 9 products that are being marketed as something else. So we're anticipating seeing much lesser sales moving forward. One of the concerns that we have, oftentimes things appear to be a simple problem or a simple concern, and there's a simple solution. And I would submit to you that this is one of those situations that appears that way. However, I believe it's a much more complex problem, and the ramifications for handling it without taking due consideration of how it's going to affect the consumers long term, I think it's something that we really need to probably consider. So if you were to look at what's available now, you've got your D9, which we know where we stand on that. You've got D8, which can be naturally occurring and is less potent than D9. You've also got THCP, which is really, really potent. You've got HHC that doesn't occur on its own. You have to actually make that by running it across a metal column. You do a profile on those, they all have spikes for heavy metals, and people are vaping these, right? So when we look at the situation, we think that it's important to have a comprehensive understanding of what is available and not pick at some pieces that are easy to identify and arguably less potent, therefore pushing consumers further to the fringe, to more, because the minute that you say HHC is illegal, well, they're going to go make something else in 10 or 14 days and it'll be on the market. And we have no idea what that is. And we know that there are spikes that show up on those profile tests that people are ingesting, and we don't know what they are. So we have not yet had the opportunity to really dig into this problem the way that we would like to. And I also think it's important, I say problem, I think it's important to identify when you're looking at what's an intoxicating cannabinoid. Well, some people may list CBD or CBN, which is not anywhere near the same thing as THCP. So I've had some conversations with our lab, local lab here in Georgia, and learned a bunch of really interesting information from some of the folks that work there, particularly about how our C1 receptors in our brains receive the intoxicating products, how some of them may be mitigated if you also have CBD in any of the product that you're ingesting. And this is a lot more complex than it may appear to be. So I would just submit to you that we think that it would be more responsible for our consuming public to pause, figure out what we're dealing with, really target it in a way that's comprehensive and achieves the goals that we set out to achieve, rather than having to come year after year creating a list and potentially push the consuming public into consuming things that are they're further derived, they're further synthetically altered, and potentially more dangerous.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Catherine. I appreciate that. It is 9 o'clock, and I appreciate the author bringing this to our attention. It is a problem, and I'm open to trying to find solutions for this. I think everybody is. If there's no other business, I would adjourn this meeting. Thank you.